right, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever. Give me just a minute to get everything started here. Looks like we're live. So we're headed to Harbor Freight right now. We're gonna make this a severe weather update and everything. So just hold on. The weather information's gonna follow here, but first we need to get to Harbor Freight because I need a cigarette lighter plug splitter thing.
Head north.
So we're gonna drive for 18 minutes and talk about the weather here, and then eventually I'm gonna show you some model data, but it looks like there's a slight risk for severe weather today and tomorrow.
Take the next left.
This is ridiculous, I tell you. Everything is overheated. So good morning. Or good afternoon rather. No worries, everybody. It's just everything's too warm here. It's extremely hot out here. It's nearly 90 degrees out here, it seems. So I'm using the air conditioner to cool this unit down here real quick. Just had an overheating issue. Okay, so we should be all right now. Let's get this thing. Problem is with that phone, I had it sitting in the sun there, and it overheated. I forgot that it was sitting in the sun. So we have to go to Harbor Freight to get hopefully a cell phone splitter or a cigarette lighter plug splitter. So the one at Walmart is like $30. I'm like, yeah, that's not cool. And I've got plenty of cigarette lighter plugs in this vehicle. I've installed several extra ones, but it's just need a quicker solution. Crank it on cold and hope we can kind of cool this thing down a bit instead of overheating. But there is a slight risk for severe weather today as well as tomorrow, with an enhanced risk on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Yeah, sorry about the echo, folks. I'm just trying to make sure everything's working. That's all we're doing here, just because we are having some issues, that's all. We have a slight risk today that's for portions of near Dallas all the way up, from the Oklahoma City, the Tulsa area, all the way up through portions of southern Missouri. That's mainly for overnight, probably after 11 p.m. I don't think we're going to be chasing that. I don't think that's really going to be much to it, but I will be monitoring it. And if it does look like something we need to investigate, we will be on it. Then come on, guys, go. Jeez, criminy, this is ridiculous. Green light. It does look like that Tuesday could be a significant day with a potential for severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. From Dallas all the way up into Iowa. And I'm going to make the announcement real quick, guys. If this stream goes down because we overheat, just the phone here, if it overheats, just refresh, because after a couple of minutes I'll have it back up on another one. I kind of forgot that the thing was sitting in the sun and it was going to overheat, so I apologize for that. But we're going to run to Harbor Freight, we're going to get some equipment, and then we're going to look at the weather models here A couple of things here. We are streaming with Radar Omega now. Radar Omega will have our stream in the app, so you will be able to look at current weather data taken from instruments on the car and such with the stream on the app. There's no audio on the stream within the app. But of course the main stream will be here on YouTube. And of course I do highly recommend Radar Omega, so if anybody's interested, I've put the Radar Omega links in the description of the video. It's pretty cheap. It's like $8 on the app stores, and I highly recommend it. It's what we use here on the stream to put the map in place and everything. So if you're interested in that, those links are down there now. So headed to the Harbor Freight. Right now we're in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Fort Smith, Arkansas today. And we're preparing for a busy week here. It looks like we could have severe weather as soon as late tonight. And of course tomorrow. It looks like tomorrow we could have a tornado threat all the way across almost all of Arkansas, including the Little Rock area. Supercell's already being depicted by the HRRR, that weather model. And as well as large hail. Looks like we could have a large hail threat set up centered over the Texarkana, Texas area. So I'm really going to be monitoring the Texarkana area because I love big hail. So we definitely may go down there for that. I'm not sure where the target area is going to be on Tuesday, but of course we'll keep everybody updated. To Harbor Freight, and yeah, we will take the stream in to Harbor Freight.
Take exit 7.
We're headed to checked out of the hotel this morning so that we can have full fluidity of where we go. Might end up going back there tonight. We'll see what happens. But like I said, could have possibly a tornado threat, a very small tornado threat later tonight that could extend through Arkansas, Tulsa area, even Tulsa all the way up into southern Missouri. Like I said, we will, once I get out of Harbor Freight, we will look at models and everything. This could be an hour or two long stream where we'll talk weather. I do plan on live streaming all of these events. 100%. Like on Wednesday, our severe weather target's going to be back down in the south, like Dixie Alley area, possibly southeast Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northwest Mississippi. We do have a weather station on top of the car now, weather recording instruments. I'm working with Radar Omega now, where we're going to try to promote some of these useful tools that we're using in the field, and also possibly gather some data. So when we get to Harbor Freight, I will show you what it looks like on the roof. We are able to record barometric pressure, dew point, temperature, from which we can derive relative humidity. We're also able to record wind speed, and this is streamed back into the Radar Omega app, which is really cool, every 5 seconds. So for example, if you're on Radar Omega, I don't have the stream going to Radar Omega right now because that'll only be active during severe weather. But I am streaming live weather telemetry every 5 seconds. So if you go into Radar Omega, you can find my location, click on it, it'll show you the date of the telemetry. And as well as we're recording it every half a second. So we're recording higher resolution data. So for example, when we're next to a tornado like we were last couple of days, we might be able to record some temperature drops, possibly barometric pressure drops. If that happens, we'll get that back to Don and see if he can dissect some of that information. So I will show you that. Right now it's on a temporary solution. Don is getting, from Radar Omega, is getting me basically a brace that will mount to the luggage rack of the vehicle. Right now it's temporarily mounted to the luggage rack. Honestly, the way it's mounted right now probably will last just fine, but they're offering to get a nice one. The audio will cut out from time to time as we're mobile. It's cell phone coverage. I've also got some additional lights on the vehicle. I think you can see one right there, one of the little pod lights on the hood. Really trying to get, actually those are from Brandon. I think he ordered 4 and ended up with 6 or something like that. So trying to light things up a little bit better for the stream. And those do make a big difference there. They're technically illegal because they're above the hood, but we're not too worried about it. Bigger problems, I guess. But, so hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit better at night now. Like I said, now with the weather instruments and recording equipment on the vehicle, we can provide data. No, I don't use flex tape. I'm sure it works fine, but I prefer a little bit more permanent solution than just taping my stuff to my car. It just amazes me that he does that some days. But whatever works. I'd be really uncomfortable just taping something to my car. I do carry flex tape though, because if we blow a window out with hail or something, I think flex tape's probably the quickest thing to use to tape over it, because you can get those big sheet. I've got that big 12-inch sheet of it, so really only have to take 2 passes over the window and it's covered. We're doing about 70 miles an hour down the highway, and the weather equipment is still on the roof, so that's good. So on our way to Harbor Freight here in Van Buren or Fort Smith. Actually, now we're in Fort Smith, I guess, Arkansas, western Arkansas. I had a couple of days of storm chasing. Like I said, I'm going to be storm chasing from tomorrow morning all the way through Wednesday, maybe Thursday. It looks like Friday, Saturday, Sunday we'll probably get a break for a little bit, but we're in peak severe storm season now. So again, I appreciate everybody who's been following along lately and helping make this a success. Reorganize everything that's in the back. All the tools, camera stuff, lawn chairs, all that stuff's rattling around really bad. It's driving me nuts. But we'll talk about severe weather specifics here once we see if Harbor Freight has what we need. We'll break out the tablet and take a look at stuff. I do think this could be a pretty noteworthy severe weather event, but quite frankly, nearly every severe weather event this year has been pretty noteworthy and somewhat substantial. Whether it's tornadoes or damaging winds, we've had a very busy year here so far, surprisingly. Big fan of Harbor Freight. Cheaper than anywhere else. Honestly, their tools aren't that bad. I mean, the Harbor Freight brand stuff can be kind of garbage sometimes, but I don't know. I've used a lot of Harbor Freight stuff. Looks like we might have a mall there. Maybe we'll have to go walk around the mall for something to do. Price of gas in this town is a lot cheaper than surrounding areas. $3.59 right there. This could be a significant event. I wouldn't bother comparing it 3 years back. I'd compare it to what we already had, honestly, because this year's been pretty significant, just statistically. We've had a lot of severe weather this year. It seems like everything's gone relatively big. Or at least noteworthy. We'll talk about target areas and stuff here in a minute. Like I've been saying, I kind of want to really get here to get to see if we can find a cigarette lighter plug splitter thing here at Harbor Freight, and then we'll break out the tablet and look at this stuff, and we'll look at it together because I haven't looked at it much. Hoping we'll have find a parking spot here where we'll get left alone for 5 minutes. It's a problem about driving around with weather stuff on your vehicle is everybody stops, which is fine, but it's always somebody that wants to talk when you're in a hurry, like trying to go to the bathroom or something. We'll just park here. I don't think this is a parking spot, but it is now because I said so. All right, so let's go in first. We'll take a look at what's on the roof here. Trying to wait for somebody here to hurry up and open my door. All right. So let's go in here. There's too many people staring at me. Start getting kind of nervous when everybody stares at you. Kind of like the guy that walked Jesus and me there. The guy that walked up to us yesterday carrying a big wood bat. I'm like, what's your problem?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Busy today. I don't even know where I'm going. Alright, so they didn't have anything we needed. Hey guys, just muted the audio, it's not a big deal. Don't want a lawsuit. So, I'll show you all what we have on top of this, that Radar Omega has installed for us here. So this is the temporary mounting solution here that we came up with. It's working fairly well. It's not just PVC. There is a 3/4 inch all thread or threaded rod. What part of the country you're from, if you call it all thread or just threaded rod. That kind of helps sturdy it up quite a bit. So the PVC is basically just a mount on, but the all thread carries the weight. So I'm gonna fire up. I just installed everything back on this tablet. So I don't know how well this is gonna work. But I'm going to show everybody here on my tablet here. If we zoom way into I got to turn my location off because it's covering it up. But here's our dot, and let's look at some of the data that we can get here. Oops, are we sideways? We are. Hang on. I got to get everything going the right direction again here. Sorry about this. This is ridiculous. Don't ever use the Streamlabs app. It's garbage. I've been trying to use it here for the these intermittent kind of streams, but it's not worth it. It's garbage. So right here is like the current data, and I don't know. Let me make sure I have the fan on. Oops, I can't do that because I'm not signed in. But you can see we've got it's 81.9 degrees here, dew point of 55. So yeah, Omega also, if you purchase the app, it's pretty cheap. This will be this is available publicly here. So if we're right next to a tornado or whatever, you can see what's going on. But I'm going to use Radar Omega to enable the severe weather risks, just because I really like the graphics that's used here. But let me adjust a couple of settings. This is a brand new install of this app on this tablet, so I do have to change a couple of things. I should have done this before, just to make it a little bit easier to see. But it's highly customizable. It's just easier than using the SPCs page. And then, okay, there we go right there. So we've got the big banana, the big yellow chunk, stretches from north of Oklahoma City all the way up towards St. Louis. That's tonight's severe weather threat. We could see large hail, damaging winds, and maybe a tornado or two. But this will be after 10 p.m., maybe even closer to midnight, and we're talking Central Time here. So tonight's kind of just a regular run-of-the-mill severe weather threat. I'm probably going to stay here in Fort Smith. But if something were to pop up, we do have that option to head north and see if we can intercept it. I want to look at tomorrow as well, by just switching the layer over to day 2. So here's day 2 severe weather threat. Slight risk from all the way down southwest of Dallas up into the Paducah, Kentucky area. That severe weather risk is primarily for large hail, but tornadoes can't be ruled out. Let's look at the individual severe weather risks. Let's see here. I got to go to severe weather, and let's look at the tornado risk first. Wait for it to load here. I'm on a very slow data connection with this iPad at the moment. We've got that 5% tornado risk for portions of the Texarkana area all the way up into Paducah. The brown is the 5%, so that's the greater chance for a tornado tomorrow. The green is 2%, so a lesser chance there. We're going to load up the wind risk here. The yellow there, that's the 15% wind risk. So that's the greatest area that's going to receive severe wind tomorrow, being wind of greater than 60 miles per hour. So if you live in that area, that's where you want to be most weather aware tomorrow. And you'll see here that the hail risk kind of coincides with that just a little bit here. However, there is one point about the hail risk that we need to make, that we need to bring up, is that there could be significant hail tomorrow, or rather large hail. Like I said, right here we're having that issue with the data being very slow because of the connection we're on. But there is a chance here of hail, strong damaging winds, and tornadoes tomorrow. See if we can get day 3 to load. There we go. This is a real, AT&T is pretty slow out here. Actually, if I take it off of Wi-Fi, that should solve our problem. But we're going to let this load up here. We've got a large area. We've got a large, is terrible. Anyway, enhanced risk for severe weather stretching from Dallas all the way up to Des Moines. Could see storms unzip all the way along that line, and that's for Tuesday. I don't have graphics for Wednesday, but Wednesday, our target area or the risk for severe weather primarily shifts. Oops, that's a little bit liberal there. It's right about there for Tuesday or for Wednesday. So that's kind of my thoughts on the severe weather that could be up and coming. Looks like it very well could be an active week. We are going to have to go find a cigarette lighter thing somewhere else that's not Walmart or whatever. They're just so expensive, it's ridiculous. Let me just go through the chat here for a minute, see if I missed anything. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. I see a couple of them that came through. Yeah, I'd go to a truck stop, but like the ones at Love's and Pilot are like $30. I'm like, that's just ridiculous. I might just have to take the dash apart and run another wire and just put a regular one in. I've got several in down there already anyway. So okay, we may end up just heading to a Walmart, and we just might have to eat it. Let's see if we got a Walmart around here. All right, I'll keep the stream up. I probably won't. I'll probably end it when we get to Walmart, just because it's kind of a pain to bring the phone in. Kind of my limit's kind of once a day on that, because I got to worry about muting and everything, and then everybody gets freaked out. So. But thanks for joining me here on this short live stream. I'm going to try to be doing these more often. I'm going to see if I can do this every day, where we go live for just a little bit, even if there's not much for severe weather in play. You know, just to kind of talk about what's going on. Like I said, I would fully anticipate a live stream. In fact, I may even schedule the live stream links way in advance for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It looks pretty promising at this point. Actually, I've got a better idea. Let's go to Walmart and let's disassemble the dash and take that buzzer out, or the beeper out. We'll do that live on stream. I have to figure out how to set the camera up to do that. But we're in Fort Smith, Arkansas right now. So we got 9 minutes, and then before I go in, we'll take the dash apart on stream and take that buzzer out of there. I'm sick of hearing about it. And hearing it, frankly. But like I said, it's pretty warm out. It's 80-something degrees. It's sunny, a little bit hazy. But overall, it's a pretty nice day today. big deal. I'm not a big fan of those neighborhood market things. You know, they're just, I'm pretty sure they're just grocery store items. They always screw me up though, because I always go to them by accident thinking they're a regular Walmart. Then I have to reroute. 2 miles. Yeah, we could potentially have another stream tonight of storm chasing, maybe. We'll see if those storms do develop, but I don't think they're going to be anything to be too interested in. There will be a stream tomorrow. I would expect the stream to start up maybe around 3 or 4 p.m. Somewhere around here, not that, still a mile away. Alright, so we'll get there, we'll take this dash apart live on stream and remove that beeper. See how that goes. Half mile. 336 for gas there at Sam's Club. Too bad we're not a Sam's Club number. That's a bargain. little bit about the severe weather coming up, and we're just kind of riding along here, and we're gonna tear the car apart for fun, I guess. Get through there. I think some of the limiting factors. Some of the limiting factors here. The limiting factors for tomorrow could potentially be, it looks like the HRRR is showing that some of the cells may cluster in Arkansas might cluster together. That would probably weaken or lessen the severe threat just a little bit. See if we can sneak over somewhere where. All right. Let me grab our socket set. Let's see if we can do something about this. Considering replacing the rear windshield with or the rear window with Lexan to prevent hail damage. Let's see what size socket do we got first. So we size up what tools we're going to need before we do anything here. I have the biggest joke of a tool set from Walmart here, but it works for being on the road. So we better power this thing down before we short anything out. Probably should disconnect the battery considering what we're ripping apart. But so to get this door sensor out of here so everybody calms down, I've got to remove a bolt here and a bolt here. So believe it or not, it looks like we're going to be doing car maintenance on this channel now too. So isn't that exciting? Let me try put a phone holder in here. Let me flip this around. How's that? That's kind of okay, right? It's about as good as it's gonna get. So we'll yank this out and then we'll probably break something and it'll go really bad. You know you have a cheap ratcheting wrench when it sounds like that. I've been in here before. This vehicle does not have ABS anymore. And I was sick and tired of seeing the ABS light on all the time. So I took the bulb out. Probably should just take the check engine light bulb out too so I don't have to stare at it. It's all good. So I can't really monitor the chat right now. I'm kind of fighting with this, so apologies in advance. I know what's going to happen. We're going to lose a bolt. We're going to lose one of these screws down in the dash, and then it's going to rattle around. So welcome to storm chasing and car repair, I guess. If you missed us live streaming fixing Brandon's exhaust, you really missed it. That was great. We even had the guys at O'Reilly's out there working on that thing. Now, if I remember right, this thing just yanks out of here. Yep, just like that. See? Now, yeah, you can tell that I've been in here because there's a screw missing right there. Because nobody got time for that. Okay, now I got to ready a new tool here. I got to get a cheap adapter. These sockets are so cheap, I'm probably going to strip something out. So we got to take out these little 7mm. Holy cow! These little 7mm. See, I just stripped. Nope, it's good. These little 7mm screws. What a joke! Never understood this. Just put a Phillips head in there. Come on. Now would be an excellent time to vacuum this out. There's a lot of crud in here, but I don't got time for that either. Why do we have more viewers now than when we're chasing storms? Like, guys, we're tearing a car apart, but we'll sit there and we'll chase. Can't do this on a newer vehicle, that's for sure. You'd have to rip the whole dash out of the car. Should. Oh yeah. I got the connector here. Never rolled back an odometer before in my life. Never ever. Just kidding. I haven't. It was supposed to be a joke. So don't flip out. It's supposed to be a joke. How the hell? This has got to fit through here somehow, right? I did this once before. Okay. Okay. Need to flip it around again. There. So there's the hole where the instrument cluster goes. There's the oops. Streamlabs, your garbage. There's the cluster. So we're going to yank this cluster apart and remove the beeper. That kind of works, right? Okay. So the first rule of working on cars is if you have a plastic clip like this, it's going to get broke, so don't even bother. The second rule is I need to find the beeper is supposed to be part of the instrument cluster. But I don't see it. Let me Google this here. I thought it was actually on the instrument cluster. Let's Google it. Is it in there? I thought it was part of the cluster. It doesn't appear to be part of the cluster though. I don't really see anything on there. It could be in there. We might have to remove the glass. Sometimes there's a chime box in there too, but let's remove the glass here, or plastic I should say. So like I said, the first rule of working on cars is the plastic clips always break, so don't even bother trying to not break them. So something's probably about to break here, and then that's fine. This really isn't a necessary component of the vehicle. You can drive it without it, I guess, so whatever. It's all cool. Well, I guess that's not going to show us anything. So let's turn the key on. And there is no dinger. No dinger with the cluster unplugged. Interesting. If we plug the cluster back in, is there a ding? If there is, then I would assume it's in the cluster, but that's not necessarily the case because the circuit for door ajar or whatever the problem is could go through the cluster, and you know, just because it dings without or doesn't ding with the cluster out of it doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% the cluster. But let's just put it in once. I want to see. Oh, come on. You know what? Just leave it out. Screw this. I'm so over this already. There's got to be a chime box in there then, if it's not that. Flashlight not working. That's great. I need to find a flashlight or my phone. According to the internet, 10 different sources say 10 different things. I think it might matter on... I don't see it down in there. I don't see a chime box anywhere. So it could be, let's dissect this cluster just for fun. Because at very least it'll be fun. So we've got the motors for the gauges here, and here. I don't really see any evidence in here of there being a chime box in here. So let me, we're gonna plug it back in, and then I'm gonna put my ear up to this thing, and I wanna see if the ding is actually coming from here, because if it is, we'll try to rip it apart. But I'm starting to lean toward the chime box must be down in there somewhere. According to the internet, it's in the cluster, but I have a little bit of a hard time believing that right now. Typically, it's usually a little black box up under there somewhere. That'll never work again. Cripes. So we're gonna do the sound test. It's having a seizure now. Now it's not dinging. Are you kidding me? You pop a door. Isn't it? No, it's not. I think it's coming from down in there. But let's just be double sure here, and because I'm sure you're all laughing at this, let's just yank this out of here while we're at it real quick, okay? I used to be a fleet mechanic, but that was replacing motors and stuff. I'm not a big fan of this interior crap. So let's give this a test by plugging in the cluster outside of the unit, or outside of the dash, and then we're gonna give it a listen. Because I think that beeping is coming from the cluster, which would indicate that the cluster needs to come apart. Is this backwards or what? This won't plug in, are you kidding me? Oh, I hate these plastic things. Hunks of garbage, absolute hunks of garbage. This is the dumbest garbage you should ever have to do. I hate this car. I hate it so much. There's only two ways this can possibly plug in. Here. All right, it's having its little freak out, so let's listen. It's in the damn cluster. Son of a gun. It is in the cluster. Now we gotta come on. We don't need this cluster, right? Like, we can just drive without it. Oh my God. Okay, so the cluster appears to be audibly in this area here. Should probably find out if there's a junkyard around here so that when I destroy this, taking it apart, I can find a replacement. So let's start by removing this. Don't try this at home. And don't use this information to roll back your odometer. And don't worry, this is a digital one. I can't do that. It's really hot in this car right now. Trying to get a flathead screwdriver bit to pop these, or I mean break these clips, because they always break. Whenever you take a plastic clip off of an old vehicle, they always break. There's just no sense in even trying to save it or salvage it. Okay, so there's the glass, right? All right, so here you got all your like things, buttons and stuff. That didn't help us at all. I'm gonna have to yank. Probably I'm gonna have to remove the needles. Does this backing, it is clipped in. I had to do surgery on one of these Ford clusters once before to replace a bunch of the lights and stuff in them. And they're kind of a pain in the you-know-what to take apart. Like I said, I can get this part of the junkyard. I'm so sick of hearing the beep that I am totally willing to do this. and worry about it later. Trying to kind of pre-pop these clips. If you're just joining us, welcome. I had the intentions of talking about model data and weather in this video, but we got sidetracked with Harbor Freight, and now I'm sick of dealing with the constant beeping, even though the door is not ajar coming from this cluster. So we're going to attempt to remove this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this without a pick or something to kind of pop these apart. Or a little shim or something. That there must be the check-in. Or no, that was the ABS light that I removed because I was sick of staring at it. Yeah, that'd be good. Let's crack that. That's probably not a bad idea there. There's got to be a way. I don't want to take the needles off of the gauges because I don't want them to be misaligned. You know, one thing we could try to do, we could try taking out the door ajar. Oh, that's not a bulb. I was going to say we could take out the door ajar bulb. Let's see if that does it. But, yeah, I don't, God, this is frustrating. Why would you put that in the cluster? This is just a plastic sheet. Usually you can, we might luck out. We might be able to peel this apart. Like I said, I don't want to take the needles off of this. Oh yeah, we can get in there. Check that out. Because I really, really don't want to have a misaligned gauge or anything. See if we can just dissect this a little bit. Like, damn it, remove this. Hey, there we go. We're getting there. This is not the factory approved way of doing this. There is a different way, but I'm limited on my tools at the moment. Oh, that's okay. Good. We got glue, so it's all right. Oh, shit. Okay. We've removed that. Yeah, so you can't really remove those. Here, we'll just do that. I don't see a door dinger or anything that would even remotely look like it. Ah, man. It sounded like it was coming from that area. I was hoping maybe we could look in there and see it. And then we would know where to attack this one. We might have to super glue this back on. I think we can put that back on. It's in the details, folks. Good as new. Good as new. Well, we can fix that. I've got glue. Just hang tight. I'll get some glue for that. We might be screwed. I might just get a different cluster because I just really don't want to remove the indicators. Let me just Google this one more time. It's possible somebody will have we got a YouTube video here. I probably shouldn't watch this. Actually, you know, we can watch this because it won't. It's fair use by watching it here in the context. So let's see here. How to remove the chime and buzzer from Ford trucks. This isn't a Ford truck, but it's a Ford something. So you have very slow data out here. Come on. This is 2022. Should have cell phone data in large cities. Beyond ridiculous. Yeah, we'll super glue this and we'll be good as new. Let's see what Camo Silver has to say here. God, I don't understand why. Everything is loading so slow in this town today. Okay, so right there he's indicating that he's turning on his vehicle, I guess. I don't know what this guy's doing. Internet's running so ungodly slow, AT&T. Come on. So this guy says here, this works for the first Gen Ford Escapes, which that's what this is. Okay, so we can see in the video here, this guy is ripping apart his cluster also. Whoa, how did he do that? He just took that thing right off of there. This guy's a mute. How did he take that off of there? Well, this guy just yanked it off. Alright, so watching this video here, this guy removes his cluster. Alright, so he's removing his wiring harness. He's deciding which harness to remove. So he's got his cluster out, okay? He flips it over. He's got a big plastic shroud on the back of his. We don't. Oh, are there screws in this? I bet there's screws in this. There are. I'm an idiot. No, there's not. There are no screws in this. Interesting. So he removes that shroud, okay? And then he just pulls the motherboard off, it looks like. Huh. Okay. Well, you know what? If that guy can do it, so can we. The problem is here, all these little plastic clips need to be pre-bent. But anyway, yeah, so severe weather today and tomorrow anyway. Clips in the middle. Like, this is ridiculous. This guy just yanked it out. Took like a second and a half. Oh, something popped. That's a good sign. It should, because it's like clipped into place here. It should pop. And probably break in half. This, damn it. I hope there's a junkyard around here for when I break this, so that I can go get another one. This is ridiculous. So they don't want you to work. Well, you're not. They don't want people tampering with this. That's the thing. They don't want people messing with the odometers and stuff. But I just want to remove the door dinger. That's all I want to do. So, according to that guy, where it was on his cluster, and that was also a first gen Ford Escape, I might be able to actually just peek in here. Whoops. Okay. Well, hey, we're getting somewhere now. I don't see it. Should be able to see the thing in here. We just ejected some of the needles off of there. Hang on, let me get an up close view of this. Oh, okay. So the needles are they're oriented to how they should be, if that makes sense. They've got little clips on them, or they can only go on, they're keyed, they can only go on one way. So no worries about misorientation. However, I'm going to have to find where the tachometer needle went. We just might not have a tachometer. That's okay. It went flying. Oh my god, this is just beyond ridiculous. It is so hot in here. Okay, can I see the door dinger? Yes, I sure can. I hope... We need to verify that that's the dinger, though, because what I'm going to do is take my pliers and squeeze it until it pops or breaks or something. Okay, we've ejected all indicators and needles. Now it's just a matter of getting this out of here. I don't know why this is such a pain. Like I said, we got glue, so anything that breaks, theoretically we should be okay with. Why is this being so ridiculous? Okay, we have it. There's your instrument cluster. This right here is the dinger. So what are we gonna do? Well, we can do several things. One of the things we can do is just like ram the, we can ram a screw into it. We could hit it with a hammer. We could do a lot of things. But I'm going to do this in a somewhat controlled way. So just stand by. I'm gonna grab a pliers. So we have two sets of pliers here. Terrible tools. They're from Walmart, but they're good for in the car. Here's what you call side cutters. A lot of times we call them something else, but it's not appropriate for YouTube. And pliers. So this right here is the door chime. So we're gonna dissect it by just cutting into it, because I don't have a way to desolder it from the panel. I want to cut into this casing here so we can remove it in a controlled manner, because I don't want to damage the actual board. Okay, that's cool. So we'll just rip it right off like that, okay? So that's fun. So we've now destroyed it, but we need to fully remove it because I don't want it like shorting out and causing a problem. So I don't... Okay, so we're just going to do this. Then we're going to give it a little yank. Okay, see, here we go. Now, all these little surface mount things, you want to be careful. But we're going to snip it right there, because I don't have a way to desolder. God dang it. There, so we've removed it. So, excellent. That was it. I'm so happy. So now we gotta make our instrument cluster sandwich again by putting this back together. That was a lot of work for that. If I would have known right exactly where that was, we would have just taken a drill bit and drilled right into this cluster. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, you know what? That wouldn't have been that terrible of an idea. It's right here. Yeah, we could have just taken a drill bit and went right into there and just destroyed that thing. That would have been perfect. That's what we should have done. Totally. Remember that for next time. So we have several of these indicators. I believe this one was for fuel. I think this one was for coolant, or vice versa. Maybe that one. Why are there so many of these? One of these was the speedo. We've lost... Nope, I've retrieved it. Okay, so these teeny tiny ones. This one here is coolant and fuel, and yeah. And these are keyed, it appears. We're going to verify that before we go. Move freely, moves freely. Yeah, we're going to insert the coolant one. Okay. Do we want a tachometer? Sure, why not? Speedometer on there, at least we found it. And we're going to verify that these are all installed correctly and working before we put this... Ooh, that is messed up. That is too... They're all free except for this one. That might just be the way that one is. Okay, so we're going to hook it up here and verify proper operation, because I only like to do things once. Or I actually would prefer to do something like this not at all, but... Gotta do what you gotta do, so we're gonna turn the key on. Okay, whew, small heart attack. It wasn't working, but I didn't have it plugged in all the way. Appears to be working. However, I don't have the one for the tack on there correctly, so the RPMs are not being displayed, so we're gonna fix that. And I have the low fuel, or the fuel indicator one on wrong. They're keyed, but they could still go in two different spots, so I had that one backwards. We're just gonna give this a good old yank. Ouch. I pushed it on there too hard. There we go. Nice fluid motion there. But everything else was working. Coolant lit up, everything. So this is, I'm gonna say this is successful. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever done live on the internet before, but I'm happy that we have solved the dinging problem. Told you we would get it eventually. Oh, RPM gauge is messed up. That's okay, we'll figure that out. Everything else is working. We've got the fuel indicator working. Okay. That's what we needed. So we're gonna, this is much like doing an alignment on a car and not doing it the right way. But the zero indicator, the vehicle's off and we haven't moved this. So we've got this needle indicating that 0 is here, but 0 is here. So we're going to carefully remove this straight up. Carefully, straight up. Oh dear God. Okay. And then we're just going to, because this is the only one that's not keyed, which is stupid. But it's not a critical thing. It doesn't really matter. So we're just going to orientate that pointer right there to 0, and we're going to slap it right back on that pedestal. Damn it. Okay, well our engine speed may be slightly inaccurate, but it's cool. I'll just get a new cluster at some point, but I'm just happy to have all functions. So let's see if we've got, it appears we do. It's doing the seizure thing. Let's fire it up. Excellent. 1,000 RPM. Yeah, I'd guess we're at about 1,000 right now. Let's check the speedo by gunning it forward, I guess. All the speedometer is working. Everything appears to be working. Half a tank of gas, that's what we have. Excellent. All right, so mission accomplished, everybody. That's what it was right there. Piece of crap. So now we need to reinstall the anti-tamper device. Didn't keep us from tampering. And we've got this on here so we don't have any electrical accidents. Okay, yep, sure, whatever. Now I gotta jam this thing back in there. I can't believe we have 500 people nearly watching this. Like, come on, guys. You got anything better to do? I know I sure don't. I'm glad that we can be your Sunday entertainment. How in the heck? I don't know how to fit this back in here. Oh, shoot. That's not... This isn't a necessary part, so that's going to come out. That's good. This is why you don't buy vehicles that mechanics have owned. Everybody's like, oh, it's a mechanic-owned vehicle. It must be properly maintained. Yeah, right. It's probably the opposite. We got Reed Timmer blowing up my phone. Let me see what he's got.
Head south.
Oh my God, Reed. We're questioning a, no, that wouldn't have been it. No, that was on your birthday. So you must have been there twice, but that was indeed the place. It's questioning a place that we went to eat back on Reed's birthday in 2021. Good Lord. Yep, first, yeah, I tell you. Okay. So let's reassemble the dash by inserting most of the screws. I mean, there's just no sense in putting them all back in. Make it easy for the next guy. I mean, come on now. Oh, son of a gun. I forgot to glue that on. That's okay. It actually, honestly, in my opinion, it looks better without it. I'm actually just telling myself that, but I really don't care. Whatever. We drive this thing into tornadoes, for Christ's sakes. It's like everybody's like, you really want that weather station on your roof? And I'm like, yeah, we drive this into tornadoes. Do you really think I care what it looks like? I mean, come on. We have the nice car at home for a reason. All right, we're going to use this world's crappiest ratcheting wrench here. Wow, that's terrible. Do a better job with my pinky toe than that thing. Oh, come on. We're almost there. This screw's a pain. We are getting such odd looks from people. I've got all these parts sitting up on the dash and everything. It looks like we're stealing this thing. I'm honestly surprised somebody hasn't called the cops yet. Somebody call Scotty Kilmer so he can tell us that this car is a piece of crap and we should have bought a Toyota. Or Chris Fix. Okay, we're missing a screw. I don't know how. Just take this whole car to Scotty Kilmer and let him tell us what a piece of crap it is. I don't know. He might not tell us this car is a piece of crap. Damn it. It's old enough and it's a Ford. He seems to like Toyotas and Fords. But unless they're newer, if they're newer, he says they're crap, and then he tells us how stupid we are for buying them. Unless you drive a 1994 Toyota Celica, you're an idiot, according to him. Which I get. Toyotas are great. I love Toyotas. Yeah, we're missing a screw, homie. Damn it. That's okay. I'll find it later. It's not a big deal. So, thank you, everybody, for watching. Please do announce. We have removed the door dinger. I actually would love to have a Toyota something. Toyota anything. So, I appreciate everybody riding along. It's interesting that this is a channel about weather and we still are able to pull in views when we're tearing a car apart. So I appreciate the loyal viewership. So I get kind of a kick out of that. Cheap tool set. I hate cheap tools. Hey, I found that other screw. Let's put that in quick. See, I hate these little tiny hex-headed screws. Like, just put a Phillips screw in there. Like, come on. This isn't NASA. You don't need frickin' torque specs. There's probably a torque spec for this screw. There's a torque spec for the battery bolt, or the battery clamp bolt. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. The dumbest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so that was fun. Join me on my the next channel, or I'm gonna make another channel and we'll just do car repairs. Here, I'll show you, I guess, what we're working with in the back. For funsies. Here, let me spin this. I've got this. I bought this yesterday for 20 bucks. This cheap one thing, but it's a lifesaver. It doesn't have to be good, you know what I mean? Just okay. These socks I use for applying Rain-X. Oops. I find it to be handy. I find it handy to just put the sock over your hand and apply the Rain-X. Here's my box of garbage tools. I try to keep some random stuff in here that might help us in the event that we need it. Sorry about that. This is a camera. Then I carry obviously clothes. That's the electronics gear. I carry a chair, Band-Aid stuff. $14 flashlight, it's the best one I've ever owned. We carry oil because this burns a lot. I carry a camp stove just because sometimes if you get into an area where power is out and everything, you can't find food. So I keep like freeze-dried crap, just if you get hungry or whatever. So that's that. I'll give you one more look at their station. I moved the lights up onto the rail there. That's our weather station there. Anemometer up top. That unit right there, that measures lots of different things: barometric pressure, dew point. It's got a fan in there, so right now the fan is on. It's sucking air up through it for accurate measurements. You see that anemometer spinning away, and inside of that there's 3/4 inch threaded rod, which is the load bearing piece. The PVC is just basically to put something onto it. So the PVC is not actually bearing the load, otherwise it'd probably bust. Rain-X alternatives? Yeah, I guess. I'm interested in everything. I don't know what would be. But anyway, so that's really all I have, everyone. We've got a risk for severe weather tonight from Oklahoma City, Tulsa, all the way up through southern Missouri. There could be an isolated tornado, but most likely just some strong wind, maybe some hail. Additionally, tomorrow we've got a slight risk for severe weather from Dallas all the way up through Little Rock into northeast Arkansas. That could have some tornadoes, especially near Little Rock, but it looks like some big time hail down near Texarkana. Tuesday, there's an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms from the Des Moines, Iowa area all the way down toward Dallas. So that could have tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds. We'll decide where we're going to be for that storm once we get a little bit closer and can figure it out better with models. And then, of course, Wednesday we'll probably be back in the northeast Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, northwest Mississippi region. So take care, everyone. I may go live again tonight. If we end up storm chasing, we'll be back live. And, oh, I forgot. Yeah, those down there, you can see those extra lights that we put on there to increase visibility at night. Thanks to Brandon for those. So take care, everyone. I hope you had fun cobbling things with me. I will have an update out tonight for with some graphics on what to expect for the next few days, but thanks. This was originally supposed to be a weather forecast video, but it turned into Harbor Freight, and then it turned into taking my dash apart. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you soon.